Welcome back to Drugstore in Another World. Anime Review Episode number 8. Yes, of course, basically, this one covered the 9th episode of the series, which is called Today Prescription, Part 1, Big Catch Buddy, and Part 2, Harriette Remover. Now, the first part, here's the weird thing, though, about this. I was doing a little research before I do a lot of the anime I was doing. First part, I figured out exactly where adapted from. Basically from chapters 8 and 10 of book 20. Not the case with the second segment. I can't possibly find it. I mean, I've seriously tried. I have really tried to find out exactly where the heck they came up with this stuff here. Now, what happens in the first part? Well, you have basically Renji, basically the main characters of the series, the main trio, plus the Demon King, Enji, where, here's the thing, they kind of in a way mixed in about 3 chapters here with this one. Yeah. Actually, it's more like chapters like 8 and 20. Yeah. 8 and 20 for like the first section one. And so they go out for a retreat at the lake. Yes, a lake. Where you have Renji and Enji just go fishing, and Noella and Mina go swimming in swimsuits. Now, I should something point out, though, about Noella. This is not the outfit that she wears in the cover of Book 2. This is a completely different attire that she's wearing. In the anime, she's wearing a one-piece swimsuit. In the book, she's wearing a 2-piece one. Mina is wearing a bikini, a green bikini, which fits her. So they go swimming, and of course they splash around. Of course, you have Renji, where he pulls out like a special repellent that could basically drag like fish to a bait, and pulls out this big glob of water, who transforms into a girl. This is a water spirit named Vivi. And here's one for you: if you watch the ending credits of all the episodes, this is the only girl who had not popped up in the series at this point. And I think she's the last of the female characters who actually appear in the series to show up. So as of now, all of them showed up at this point, which is interesting to say the least. So she's a little mad that Hook got caught while she's basically a tasty bait. And of course they have lunch together, which is quite nice. And then of course you have them do a fishing competition, where whoever gets the most fish, just a favorite thing. And it turns out that the poster girls, basically Mina and Noella, won. While in the case of Renja, he actually did the old-fashioned way, basically just doing by hand. He got like 23. Vivi and Renji got 24, and of course the poster girls got 26. So they kind of split in half, or they take half with them to basically the general store and the rabbit tavern, and the other portion Vivi keep herself. And apparently she's a very special water goddess, water spirit, where it was a shrine to her, and then people stopped coming because basically they kept asking to do stuff. So basically the way she's described it, where she asked them to do stuff, and she just ate the offerings. So basically she's a very lazy spirit guardian. A water spirit. And eventually people stop coming because of all the monsters in the area. Now, what these monsters look like, don't know. Now, you might ask, have I read book 2? Yes, I have. It's been a little bit since I've actually read it. So, then of course, basically, Vivi does not want to be alone. Renji hires her first start as part-timer, and then become full-time. And then several days later, she starts out as a, employee. Where you have, the Demon King Enji just basically training her. because she was the last person that Renji hired. He did mention to her he'll start, even though she wants to be full time, he starts her as part-time to start her out with, and then eventually become full time. And well, teach her the stuff so to be with Nuala, and that's it for that. This next section, I can't find exactly what book this comes from. I know this is not from book 1, no, because then we have Mina talking to Paula and Annabelle. Annabelle does appear in book 1, Paula doesn't. Excuse me. This could come from book 3. I don't know because I've never read it. Or basically, there's chatting about something. Of course, they think it's quite rude to interrupt. Basically, the Renji's interrupt their conversation, even though that it's his store. He owns the building. He can overhear the conversation if he wants to. And of course, makes a product basically if it's hair growth. Presumably, it's basically kind of like a beauty product per se. Yeah, but trying to find out exactly what the heck this thing is, I don't know, because I'm sure he probably just used it once. Yep, and then of course, Nuala basically curious about this beauty product. He makes it like very quickly, and apparently it prevents hair growth, probably just in the face per se. Well, that probably looked good on her fur, so she ends up using her fur. How they find out about this? Well, she goes, "Oh, you're all dressed up," and takes out the bow, and turns out there's a little bit of the hair removed. And then, of course, Renji makes an antidote for this, pretty easily, able to grow back the hair. And Noelle's back now, where she basically made a promise she would never drink any of his, try out any of his medicines without his permission ever again, because what happened with her tail. And according to Renji, she's kept that promise. And that's the episode. It's a okay episode. I think that the spirit stuff, I think the BV stuff, that was pretty interesting. And as of now, I think they're out of female characters to introduce in the series, because I don't think there's any more left. Because as far as I can tell, they pretty much have introduced everybody. You think though, who else is left? I mean, they practically have introduced every character who appears in the books. Yes. Let's see. As far as I can tell, they pretty much have introduced everybody. And there's, I'm looking at this. I say probably the Sea Father is probably the only one, basically, that does not really. Yeah, he's probably the one who has not appeared yet, because I think everyone else pretty much has. Yeah, I think they pretty much have included everybody who has appeared in the books. Because with the exception of, Seaman. There's also Dawes as another character. I'd say about 2 or 3 per se of characters left. There's a few more left to go. But I'm sure they're probably going to save some portions of book 1 for the finale for this particular season. Yep. But now I say about the second segment was interesting, but it's mostly character model for Nuala. That's simply what it is. And you probably think, what the heck was Paul doing in the first place with Annabelle? Which seems so strange. They've hung out together once before when they had the ice chill stuff. I think so, yes. So, yeah. That's particularly it for this particular review. And that's it for videos because for one thing, I don't have more time to do more videos. And also because I have no other videos left to record. So tomorrow I expect to see reviews for Shaman King, obviously. And hopefully Super Sentai. I thought I'd get to it today, but that proved to be not the case. So expect to probably see it tomorrow, okay? Here's the video. Bye.